let's talk about different types of haircuts for wavy hair. And yes, this is pretty much inspired by my desperate need for a haircut right now. So I've had a few different types of haircuts since starting to embrace my waves 5 or 6 years ago. And I often see like which of these types of haircuts is best debated in different groups. And so I thought I would share my experience with different types of haircuts for naturally wavy hair and what I feel has worked best for me and what I plan to do moving forward. One of the most common questions that I see in wavy hair groups and forums is, do you really need a curl cut or a diva cut? Curl cuts are when somebody who specializes in wavy or curly hair cuts your hair in a way that is designed to really work with your curls, and it's cut dry rather than wet. These haircuts are usually notably more expensive than like a typical haircut from a hair salon, but a lot of people feel that they really work with your hair to get the best possible results. And so then by comparison, when talking about like regular haircut, that would be a wet cut, which is what most of us have had most of our lives, where you just walk into any hair salon and see any hairstylist, and they're either going to wash your hair so that it's like really wet or spray your hair down with a spray bottle before they cut your hair. The reason that I personally was curious about trying a diva cut or another type of dry curl cut was because I hadn't had good luck with haircuts for most of my life, and I know that that's something that a lot of people with wavy and curly hair can relate to, but some specific issues that I've had in the past with regular wet haircuts were my hair just not turning out the way that I had hoped it would. And there's really two main reasons, or two main ways, that my hair would often be different in result than what I had asked for going in. One of those was the hair would end up being shorter than what I'd asked for. I would ask for it to touch my shoulders, for example, and then once it was cut, it would be like an inch above my shoulders. And to the point where I really thought that any and all hairstylists just always cut your hair shorter than what you asked them to. I thought they were like taught to like cut extra damage off or something like that, but it always annoyed me. Like, why don't they just listen to me and make my hair the length that I want it to? Never understood that. And then the second issue that I ran into a lot was I would bring in this inspiration picture of a haircut that was really sleek, because that was kind of my goal my whole life, was to have sleek hair, because I thought that I had like bad puffy straight hair and I wanted it sleek. So I thought if I got a sleek haircut, I would have, it should make my hair look sleek. And I now understand that when I would bring in sleek looking haircuts, that would usually result in the stylist thinning my hair with thinning shears, razor cutting my hair, or both. And I now understand that those specific techniques are really not beneficial for wavy hair because they disrupt curl clumping. And so while I was trying to get a sleek haircut, those things can actually disrupt clumping and result in like puffier, less defined hair, and actually make your hair bigger and less sleek. So that was why those haircuts just weren't working for me. But anyway, so I decided to try a curl cut to see how that would compare. And at first I just looked up diva specialists. Diva stylists are one type of dry curl cut. There are other types, but I think diva stylists and diva cuts are the most popular type of dry curl cut out there. And I just looked for one in my local area and went to her. And I had seen her say on social media that she has a lot of type 2 clients, but her Instagram and other social media did seem to have a lot of like tightly curly clients, but I still didn't think that much of it and went to her. I really did not like that haircut that I got from her, and I can link to a blog post where I discuss that experience, but the results were pretty bad. I did gain a little bit of insight from her about things like that my hair texture is fine and that my hair is very dense, for example, and those things help me with my hair journey and knowing how to better care for my hair once I understood my hair properties. But the haircut itself, I was really not happy with, and I walked out of the salon with hair that was straighter looking than it was when I walked in. And one of the reasons that I had been curious about Deva cuts was because a lot of the before and after pictures show hair like curling up a lot better after the haircut, and so I was hoping to embrace my waves better, and the opposite is what actually happened, and so that was pretty disappointing. About a year later, I decided to try a Deva cut again, but I sought out somebody who specifically had a lot of type 2 clients and who had type 2 wavy hair herself. And my reasoning with wanting to try that was that I could tell with that first Deva cut specialist that I saw that she really didn't understand my hair type. She had told me things like people with wavy hair shouldn't use gel, it'll be too heavy, and that I should just use a sea salt spray. And so then she used a sugar spray, which is similar to sea salt spray, when cutting my hair. And then she herself was really like surprised and confused that when she styled my hair, it was a lot straighter than I had walked in with. So I could just, and there were just other things like that. I could just tell that she didn't understand my hair type and my hair needs. And I could tell from this other Deva stylist's Instagram page that she had a good understanding of my hair type. And so I was hopeful that it would go well. And I actually have seen that stylist twice now, that Wavy stylist. And I really liked the haircuts that I got with that woman both times. It was the first time in my life that I like walked in to get my hair cut and walked out and felt like I still looked like myself and was happy with my results afterwards. And so that was really exciting. She is pretty pricey. I think I paid about $150 each time that I saw her. And something I've learned through all this is that haircuts vary quite a bit depending on where you live. In my area, like a kind of cheap regular salon would be probably something like $25. A discount place would probably be more like $15. The first Deva cut specialist that I saw was $90. So this like wavy specific specialist definitely was pricey, but I felt like it was worth it, partly because I liked the haircut, but more so even than the haircut, just having over an hour of talking to this woman who had a deep understanding of wavy hair and who I was able to just bounce all these ideas off and these experiences off of and gain little bits of insight about my hair. I think that really felt more valuable than the haircut itself. So from where I stand now, I've had 2 positive experiences with this wavy specialist. I guess I'll call her. She doesn't refer to herself as a wavy specialist, but that were really good, but they were pricey. And then I've had wet cuts that weren't very good, but those were all before I really understood my hair and its needs. So I feel like I now could go in to see pretty much anybody, ask for a fairly basic layered haircut, ask them to leave my hair about an inch longer than how long I actually want it to be, and request that they don't use any thinning shears or like don't razor cut my hair. I think I would get a haircut that would be fine and for way less money. But then something else that I have some experience with is cutting my own hair. So before I went to that first Deva cut specialist, I found a video online of a woman talking about how she dry cuts her own hair, so kind of does her own Deva cut or similar. And she just showed how she did it, and I copied her technique, and I think I've cut my hair 3 times on my own. And I was always fairly happy with my results in cutting my own hair, which is crazy because I used to try to cut my own hair a couple of times when I still thought my hair was straight, and that was always a disaster. But I think it's a lot kind of safer to try to cut your own hair when you're always styling it wavy or curly, and that's because it doesn't need to be all exactly the same length. If you have super straight hair, the ends of the hair, if they don't all align, that's really going to stand out like a sore thumb, the piece that's too long or that's too short. But with wavy and curly hair, it's just natural for a natural curl pattern to vary, and so you're going to have some pieces that lay a little bit longer or a little bit shorter than others, and so you don't have to get it exactly the same length in order for your hair to look cohesive and to just look fine. So I have considered going back and dry cutting my own hair. But then another thing that I've considered is these do-it-yourself haircuts that have become popular on YouTube and Instagram. A lot of people do a wolf cut, and that is more of like a shag haircut, which just isn't my personal style, so that's not something that I personally am considering. But kind of another type of haircut that is popular for doing it yourself is a unicorn cut or a pigtails cut, which is kind of like a unicorn cut, but it's just on two sides. And a lot of people have had good luck with that, and that creates layers that work well with wavy and curly hair. And so I've considered trying to cut my own hair using those techniques just to see how that goes for me. I haven't really decided what to do yet, but I just thought I would share my different haircut experiences. And if you guys want to let me know how you guys go about getting your hair cut or cutting your own hair, what methods you feel work best for you, I'd be curious to hear what your thoughts are, especially if you've tried a unicorn cut or a pigtail cut versus dry cutting your own hair. If you have any insight onto which method I should use for trying to cut my own hair this time, I'd be really curious to see what you think.